What happens when surviving isn't enough to save you? Hey, it's Dee Dee from Ladies First, and today we're talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer and how it explores the brutal reality that some traumas never let you go, even when you're the one left standing. Released in 1997 at the height of the post-Scream slasher revival, I Know What You Did Last Summer follows four friends whose fun night out turns deadly. Julie James, her boyfriend Ray, her best friend Helen, and Helen's boyfriend Barry hit a mysterious figure while driving drunk through their small coastal town. Panicked and desperate to protect their futures, they dump the body in the ocean and swear never to speak of it again. But secrets have a way of surfacing. 1 year later, Julie receives an anonymous note. I know what you did last summer. What follows is a methodical hunt as a mysterious man stalks and kills the friends, one by one, using his signature weapon, a curved ice hook. The film systematically eliminates Barry, Helen, and nearly Ray, leaving Julie as the sole survivor facing off against her tormentor. On the surface, this seems like a textbook final girl scenario, but there's something darker lurking beneath. The final girl trope, coined by film scholar Carol Clover, describes the pattern where one resourceful, morally superior woman survives to face the killer alone. She's typically more virtuous than her friends, less sexually active, less reckless, more thoughtful. She endures unimaginable terror, fights back against impossible odds, and ultimately defeats evil through her own strength and wit. Julie James checks most of these boxes. She's the moral center of the group, the one who argues they should confess to police. She's less wild than Helen, less aggressive than Barry, more grounded than Ray. When the killing starts, she's the one who pieces together Ben Willis's identity and motivation. She survives the final confrontation through clever thinking and sheer determination. But here's where I Know What You Did Last Summer breaks the mold. Julie's survival comes with a devastating catch. Traditional final girls emerge victorious. Laurie Strode defeats Michael Myers. Sidney Prescott outsmarts Ghostface. Nancy Thompson conquers Freddy Krueger. Their trauma is real, but their triumph is complete. They've faced evil and won. Julie's story refuses that comfort. The film's final moments reveal Ben Willis isn't actually dead, just temporarily defeated. As Julie prepares to shower in her college dorm, she discovers another message. I still know. The killer crashes through the glass shower door, ice hook gleaming, and the screen cuts to black. We're left with the horrifying realization that Julie's nightmare isn't over. It may never be over. This ending transforms Julie from final girl into something far more complex, a woman trapped in perpetual victimhood. She didn't defeat her monster, she merely postponed her destruction. The film suggests that some traumas are so profound, so deeply rooted in guilt and consequence, that survival itself becomes another form of suffering. What makes Julie's situation particularly devastating is how the film connects her suffering to genuine moral failing. Unlike many slasher victims who die for arbitrary transgressions, Julie and her friends are being punished for a real crime, vehicular manslaughter, followed by covering up evidence and disposing of a body. The film forces us to grapple with uncomfortable questions. Do they deserve what's happening to them? Is Ben Willis a villain or an agent of justice? Julie's status as final girl becomes morally ambiguous because her innocence is compromised from the very beginning. This complexity elevates the film beyond simple good versus evil dynamics. Julie isn't just fighting for her life, she's fighting with the weight of genuine guilt. Every death that follows feels connected to their original sin, making her survival not triumphant, but tragic. She's the final girl who can never truly escape because she can never undo what she did. The film shows how devastating secrets corrode relationships and identity. Over the year, Julie and Ray's relationship crumbles under shared trauma. Helen retreats into superficial glamour, working at her family's store instead of chasing her New York dreams. Barry grows violent and paranoid. Julie transforms from a hopeful college student to a haunted survivor. Jennifer Love Hewitt captures this brilliantly. Julie becomes jumpy, isolated, unable to move forward. The secret isn't just hidden, it's consuming her. When the killing begins, it almost feels like a relief. The external threat finally matches the internal torment they've been carrying. Ben Willis doesn't create their suffering, he simply makes it visible. The film's treatment of its female characters reveals fascinating contradictions within the final girl framework. Helen, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar at the start of her Buffy fame, initially seems like potential potential final girl material. She's beautiful, popular, but also shown to be intelligent and resourceful. However, the film punishes Helen for her vanity and ambition. Her death sequence, being chased through her family's store before dying steps away from the 4th of July parade, suggests that her desire for attention and status makes her vulnerable. The film seems to argue that Helen's investment in appearances prevents her from seeing real danger. Julie, by contrast, survives because she's willing to confront ugly truths. She's the one who researches David Egan's death, who pieces together Ben Willis's identity, who refuses to ignore the mounting evidence. Her survival isn't about purity, it's about accountability. But even this reads as problematic. Julie's final fate suggests that women who make mistakes, even when they try to atone for them, can never fully escape punishment. The final girl traditionally represents female strength and resilience. Julie represents female guilt and the impossibility of redemption. Released during the late 90s slasher renaissance, I Know What You Did Last Summer arrived at a moment when audiences were hungry for self-aware horror. Scream had deconstructed genre conventions with wit and meta-commentary. Urban legend would follow with its own mythological approach to teen terror. But this film took a different path, playing its concept straight. It feels dated in its earnest use of tropes, yet timeless in its exploration of guilt and consequence. It also taps into millennial anxiety about the permanence of mistakes. These characters can't escape their past because someone is always watching. In today's era of digital permanence and cancel culture, that theme hits even harder. I Know What You Did Last Summer gives us a final girl who embodies the fear of survival without peace. Julie James doesn't triumph and move on. She lives knowing her mistakes have lasting consequences for herself and everyone around her. The real horror isn't Ben Willis or his hook, but the truth that some wounds never heal, some secrets never stay buried, and some mistakes follow you forever. Julie survives physically, but remains trapped in that moment when everything went wrong. By denying Julie a complete victory, the film withholds the catharsis the final girl trope usually offers. Instead, it leaves us with something more unsettling. Surviving trauma isn't the same as healing, and the cost of keeping terrible secrets may be higher than telling them. So what do you think? Is Julie James a final girl who transcends the trope? Or did Helen deserve to be the last one standing? Let me know in the comments. And if you love analyzing the women who shaped horror cinema, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Ladies First.